Video of Fallout 4. I wasn't expecting to stream this early, but being that we are in the process of building the relay terminal device to get us into the Institute, I thought it would best be a decent time to do a stream. This would technically conclude our run, because everything's going to quickly take a rapid increase in pace here after, not too long after. And given that being the circumstance, I thought it would be wise to, well, stream it before we have a missed opportunity.
What do you need, General?
I have plans here to build a signal interceptor that can get me inside the Institute.
The Institute? Why in the world would you want to mess around with them?
They kidnapped my baby.
Damn. That's some bad business. Even for them. We'll give you whatever help we can. Don't worry about that. Now, assuming you could build this thing, what exactly does it do?
The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out. This machine can hijack their signal and send me instead.
Teleportation? For real? Wow. That would explain a lot about how the Institute manages to operate. If anyone can make heads or tails of those plans, it'd be Sturgis. I haven't found anything yet that he couldn't build or fix.
So we now must build A and B, talk to Sturgis. Not necessarily in that order, because we will be talking to him first. Just as, you know, reasonable doubt.
Preston thought you might be able to figure out these plans for me.
Sure thing. Let's see what you've got.
Here you go.
Wow, what a mess. Looks like encrypted RF transmissions. Okay, so that gets routed through... What the hell? Teleportation. This is some pretty crazy shit. You sure it's for real?
It's real. I got it from an ex-Institute scientist.
Seriously? I didn't know you could be an ex-Institute anything and still be breathing. Anyway, the eggheads never think about the nuts and bolts of actually making something work. But, looks like it's all here. Yeah, I'm gonna need some time to study this thing. The handwriting's pretty hard to make out. But, you can get started on what he calls a stabilized reflector platform. You'll need some pretty high-grade metals, but it's basically not that different than the lining of a jet engine or something like that.
Good work, Sturgis.
Well, don't thank me yet. I think I got the gist of it, but it's gonna take some time to work out the details of some of the hairier sections. Here's a list of what you'll need for the first piece. I'm pretty sure we've got all that at Sanctuary, if you want to build it there. While you're working on that, I'll get busy figuring out how to actually build the rest of this thing. Keep in mind, I can already see this is gonna take a crazy amount of juice. Like if you had a spare nuclear reactor handy, we could probably use it. And it's going to be big. So find a nice open building site with lots of power available.
We already kinda did that. And we can always build additional. But what we need is a spot to build it. Being that there's only one location quite suitable in this area for that, and it's right where we're standing in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Sturgis.
And we're back already.
How's it going? Did you find a good spot to build your signal interceptor?
Yeah, ready to build the rest of it.
Good. I think I got a handle on this crazy contraption. At least as much as I can tell. Until we actually try to build it, here's a list of 3 things that may be harder to find. I think I'll be able to pull together everything else we're gonna need. I'll meet you over at the building site and see if we can actually make this thing work.
Thanks, Sturgis. I'll get right on this.
Good deal. One thing to keep in mind while you're building this, it all needs to be wired together so all the pieces can talk to each other. I'll see you over at the building site. Good luck.
$21, $26, 28 additional power for all of it. You know what? We're gonna go do that optional part too. Why not? Biometric scanner? Why not? I mean, after all, extra help couldn't hurt none. Yeah, we didn't find the thing. I don't know why it instantly completed it when we got there, but I mean... Me. We might as well head back and finish this out rather quickly.
Compromised. Engaging.
What the hell? I don't know why this thing's attacking people, or where it came from, let alone. That was weird. Why none of the turrets didn't attack it? I have no idea.
Gotta make sure we've got enough power.
Can we trade a few things?
Make sure it's all on the same grid. All the parts have got to be able to talk to each other, you know.
Yeah? They all are. Let's just put an additional one of these down just for the sake of it.
Once we got everything in place, we'll get all up to the same power grid.
Hey, Sturgis.
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay. Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform. I'll start scanning for an Institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens. Whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. By the way, I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's, just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And... got it. Hold on to your butt.
Hello. I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I am known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy. And our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Oh my god.
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your mom.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, Daddy's gone, but I'm here. Mommy's here now.
What's going on? Father? Father!
Shh. It'll be okay, Sean. Mommy's here now.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here. Help me!
Please, Sean. I'm your mother. To talk to me. Just open the door.
Father? Father, help me! She's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now.
I know. I know. You've gone to such lengths to find him.
I wanted to use the answer, you know, the swear word one.
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been good. It's good to finally meet you. After all this time, it's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
They stole you. Kidnapped you. It wasn't right.
Right, wrong, irrelevant. It was necessary. The Institute believed humanity's future depended on it. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics, used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
Years. So much time. Wasted.
I know. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
Kellogg was... let's just say he was more complex than you might think.
After what he's done, I'm surprised to hear you say that. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your father... he never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
They're scared of you, Sean. Scared of the Institute.
People are always frightened by what they don't understand. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just Give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Maybe. I don't know. This is so much to take in.
I know. And I am sorry. You have been through so much in such a short time. The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
I don't know what to do.
I realize that. It's why I'm trying to help you. I hope that you can see that rationally. The Institute is the only thing left in the world that is worth being part of. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
It seems like a strange choice. On more than one level.
I can understand how it might seem that way. It is something new. New discoveries are always welcome. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him like you would a real boy?
I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
Doc.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. They weren't kidding. We really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son. And keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facilities division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, and at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
It must be a...
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes.
Wow. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans.
Personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can...
Hey, Doc.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
Welcome. It is so good to meet you. I truly hope you come to think of the Institute as your home.
It'll take some time, but I could learn to like it here.
I'm so glad to hear you say so. And promise I'll work hard to make sure that you do. You should know that many of us consider it a great honor to have you here. See that you do.
Welcome to the Institute, ma'am. Power armor is sturdy enough, but it limits your mobility. It's an honor to meet you, ma'am.
We're all looking forward to working with you.
They're dragging their feet on the targeting package upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses with me.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get
Hi, Doc.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions. It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the synth retention. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping, that matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered it. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production line. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a Courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
I mean, basically the choice is kind of... honestly, it's an irreparable situation. Some cases where joining this institute would lead to more problems, but I mean, honestly, that's the road I usually kind of go with, because mainly it's just, you know, less gunfighting.
She's been at it for over 2 years.
And more...
What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
It's really hard to kind of describe the situation.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
What is it you're working on?
Advanced Systems Special Projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will. Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
Tell me about the people in your division.
I'm not sure what there is to say. Dr. Watson is the Specialist Project's lead scientist. He's, how to put it, very organized and precise. Dr. Ormond is one of the youngest scientists in the Institute, and she's something of a prodigy when it comes to physics.
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations in Warwick.
Doctor.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Committee. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. Don't you think it's truly amazing?
I look forward to learning more about it.
In that case, let me give you a brief overview of what we do here. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of studies such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Seems like there's nothing you guys can't do.
Hard work and ingenuity, any challenge can be overcome. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm not sure how well I'll fit in, but I'd like to give it a try.
Great. I was hoping you'd say that. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I think Dr. Carlin was looking for help with one of his experiments. You should talk to him.
Most men lack the patience to observe.
Yes.
The old lab. This is where we'll find what we're looking for Virgil. Ah, welcome. We are currently in the process of going through Virgil's old laboratory in a modded run of Fallout 4. Hope you will stay tuned for a little while. We are currently in the process of looking for Virgil's serum. We do not want to open very many, if any, of these doors.
Scanners detecting sentient life.
Because of this. Never knowing where that guy's gonna come out from. Sometimes he'll come out of one of these littler rooms, and sometimes he'll just show up randomly. Doesn't matter where he's at. Waiting for the next thing that's going to try to shoot at us. No terminal, so I'll have to hack it, or not hack it, but pop up the lock open. a second. That's not where we need to go yet. The Fab Lab was Virgil's lab. That's where we need to look for the serum at. I must have overlooked a door of some sort. Yep, it's looking like I did somewhere along the way. That's like a 3-to-1 odd usually.
Sweet.
There we go. That's what we were really looking for. So we found Virgil's serum.
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand, what do you think?
You've got technology here that I never dreamed possible. It's amazing.
I'm glad you can appreciate what we've accomplished. None of it has been easy. Ultimately, all our knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal. The goal is best summarized by our motto: mankind redefined. Unfortunately, no advancement comes without occasional setbacks. As remarkable as our synths are, they can be dangerous without proper supervision. The superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe for chaos.
What do you mean by proper supervision?
I mean that while they are here in the Institute, fulfilling the purpose for which they were designed, our synths perform admirably. As you're about to see, however, they can become unpredictable when set loose. A rogue synth has taken over the raider gang at Libertalia. His memories have been erased, and his identity altered. He believes he's a man named Gabriel. Under his leadership, the Raiders have taken many innocent lives. I've dispatched a courser to Libertalia. I'd like you to join him and reclaim that synth.
Who erased his memories? And why?
Those idealistic radicals who call themselves the Railroad are behind him. We'll deal with them in time. The But right now, the priority is to reclaim that synth before more harm is done. Now you should get moving. Many people are in danger, and a delay could cost lives.
Well, fortunately for us, we were already there. I am going to, undoubtedly, kind of side with the Institute for this situation. Just because, yes, I don't really particularly care for the railroad. Normally, I don't mind them. It's a very particular and judgment-based situation. Not only did the first impression really have an issue with someone standing there with a minigun, second of all, it's one of those less desirable situations.
I'm ready to move in.
You must be the courser I'm supposed to meet.
Yes, ma'am. Designation X688. I've already neutralized the perimeter guard. Just give the word, and we can start the assault on the main flotilla.
So long as he doesn't start eyeing me up for reclamation.
Looking for what group? We have no artilleries that we want to be shooting off right now. As much as I'd really hate to do this, I mean... I should have probably let them do it themselves, but... Don't really like doing that, but... No, let them finish that. I'm gonna go try to work on our primary objective. Alright, fine. I guess I have no choice but to try it. Hate to do that. Trying to remain neutral until I absolutely have no choice.
You must be the courser I'm supposed to meet.
Yes, ma'am. Designation X688. I've already neutralized the perimeter right behind you, ma'am.
There we go. This one's one of the only ones I really care to try and reclaim. Because, yeah, this situation is really rather the important one.
Come on out. Nice and clean. You can trust me. Oh, I know you're here. Find you.
If you listen to the gunshots, you'd know exactly where we were.
Hold up a moment, ma'am. There's something important I need to tell you.
I'm listening.
I'm going to give you B592's reset code. If he hears the code phrase, it'll reset his cognitive processes and make him docile. You'll need to say B592 initialize factory reset, followed by the authorization code Gamma 71 Epsilon. Once he's shut down, I can transport him safely back to the Institute.
Good. I'd like to avoid any unnecessary violence.
Precisely. Shouldn't have to bloody any more noses than we have to.
Well, he might not be alone up there. Violence might be inevitable. That's all, ma'am. Ready when you are.
Well done. By your gear, I'm gonna guess you were agents just like me. So, made it to the top. As the Institute's gets resources, like stealing plunder from honest, hard-working Commonwealth gangs.
P592 initialize factory reset. Authorization Gamma 71 Epsilon.
Gabriel, can you hear me? Shit,
Figured it might be prettier for me.
Take them out!
Nice work, man. I'll take the synth back. This is X688, ready to relay with reclaimed synth P592.
Hey.
Do something for you? All you gotta do is ask.
Your thoughts?
A synth taking up in Libertalia. Suppose some folks would do anything to get away from the Institute.
Your thoughts?
I don't need to worry about the old Nick's life anymore. I'll never be able to thank him for that.
Your thoughts?
You'd be shocked how many folks I've managed to convince I'm just a really sick fool.
Just wanted to check in, see how you feel things are going between us.
Not to put too fine a point on it, you're the best damn partner I've ever had. Sam.
Nothing else for now.
Got it.
So yeah, we're basically... what's the word? Capable of entering and exiting the Institute as much as we wish. So long as we don't have any issues, I don't know, dealing with anybody else. I mean, we still could probably talk to the Minutemen about things, we could deal with that. We can't really go back to the Brotherhood, especially now after we've already kind of been in the Institute and did a mission for them. It's kind of mute. Though we're running around in the Brotherhood of Steel Power Armor, and we did end up having to kill a few of them just to continue with the mission.
I know the task was difficult, but I needed you to see firsthand how dangerous a rogue synth can be.
I don't care about who's to blame. I just wanted to stop a killer.
Yes, of course. Your pragmatism is admirable. It does matter, though. If everyone sees the Institute as a villain, dangerous forces could align against us. If we can put the lie to such assumptions, we diminish that threat. But enough about that. The task is done. You've returned our synth safely to us. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. Well done. While you were away, I had quarters prepared for you. You'll find all the basic necessities, as well as a generous stock of arms and equipment. Go and have a look. I think you'll be quite pleased.
So somehow we couldn't protect our location that I didn't even know we were having troubles defending, let alone how they managed to get through the defenses.
Sir, we have another situation. A code red.
What? Third time in 2 weeks. This is unacceptable. How could this happen?
We think there was a system glitch. We're looking into it.
You're all useless. I'll figure it out. All right. In the meantime, tell the others to be on high alert. I want more patrols and more rounds.
Right away.
Your new quarters are here, ma'am.
Hey.
Your quarters are just inside.
Yes, sir. Understood.
When you're finished here, ma'am, Father wants to see you.
I didn't really see any arms or munitions in there, but yeah.
It must make you proud to see all the colonies. All that he has built.
A clean and healthy work environment is essential to maximum productivity.
Sean?
Hello, Mother. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
That's a loaded question. What's been stolen from you?
Institute property is not often taken from us. We cannot react lightly when it happens. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had gone missing in recent months. They no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided beliefs.
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's the result of their selfish, short-sighted plan. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
That sounds way too dangerous.
It shouldn't be. But it's important that we act on this soon, before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths. That would only complicate matters.
Is it just me, or will I have backup?
Of course, sir. We'll be waiting for you outside Bunker Hill. You'll have support should you need it. But we want to keep this small.
Well, now it's time for the front line. We are capable of informing anybody of the situation, and we are capable of acting on it ourselves with the Institute. The downside is, really, it comes down to preference at this point. This is one of those deciding factors. If the Institute wins, it could mean better things and worse things. It's hard to know for sure. At the same token, if we inform either of the fractions what's going on, that we've already dealt with, it could make things even more spiraled. The Brotherhood would overtake everything. Our kind of the least violent option is just to do it with the Institute. At the same time, that is also one of the more reckless ones, I would say.
Watch your tone, Synth.
Next time, move faster. Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The situation appears to have escalated. A covert approach is likely impossible. We move in, Secure the synths, and I relay out with them back to the Institute. Clear?
Shouldn't we try to avoid killing anyone?
Irrelevant. Any threats between us and the target are to be eliminated. Only the synths matter.
The mission's parameters just changed. Going to shoot.
The Brotherhood already knew. This is the difficult task, is getting in there without problem. We don't want to keep fighting, but we definitely do not want to get shot at either. We don't have a key for that. Now we can just leave the rest of them fighting because our way is out of the way.
So that's it.
Just kind of avoid as much confrontation as possible.
I've been looking for you.
No, I've got money. It's yours if you let me go.
F633. Initiate reset. Authorization code Delta 62 Argus. All right, Synth.
Please.
Why don't you want to go back?
I don't know. I wanted my own life, I guess.
C322. Initiate reset. Authorization code Gamma 49 Typhoon.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is how we're going.
Come on, please. Just don't.
Whoa. Why are you so afraid?
I don't want to go back. Please, don't make me go back.
B257. Initiate reset. Authorization code Theta 93 Stratus. No sudden moves.
Please, no.
What's so bad about the Institute?
I couldn't take it anymore.
What's so bad about the Institute?
I couldn't take it anymore.
Y915, initiate reset. Authorization code Beta 77 Tempest.
So we can now head out and leave and attempt to not to get shot anymore. Let the two of these fractions basically fight it out. Make it look like a Railroad and the Brotherhood of Steel fight. Oh well, plus the Institute lackeys around. Make it basically a full-on war. What is it with these cows? They're really trying to block me from getting out of here at all. This is basically a full-out free-for-all, and I'm just gonna let it basically look as is. Getting as quickly and as quietly out as we can. If that is at all possible. Chances a 9 to 1 say maybe. A 3 to 9 gives us a chance of getting shot at more. And a, what is it, 6 of 9 says we managed to actually, get all the sides firing at us. Shooting and all. Yeah, it looks like we got the 1 out of 9 odds. Ooh, close. Now we just get the, back to the out of the way scenario. I don't see enemies nearby. I just see... Oh, now I see an enemy or two. Got some raiders around us. We are no longer in the fight for the Bunker Hill. Sure, the Institute reclaimed those few cents that were there. But, yeah. Oh, he's in the ruins, not at the actual Institute. That makes more sense. Basically left the Institute soldiers to fight off whatever remnants comes back. And we left the Brotherhood and Steel and the Railroad members to fight each other. After we had did the initial situation.
Son?
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
Kellogg called me the backup.
Did he? Well, he was correct. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you? You let me out?
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you, as it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Stupid
Mm.
man. Well, here I am. Wasn't worth it.
Stupid old man.
There are greater things to come after your success at Bunker Hill. The synths have been safely returned and will be repurposed. Thank you for your work. I hope you weren't at too much risk.
What do you mean, the synths will be repurposed?
Modifications will be made to correct the defects in their programming, and they'll be assigned to new duties within the Institute. Not the first or last time it will happen. The railroad remains an annoyance, of course, but they'll be dealt with as necessary. And you, well, you've passed the test, as they say. You have done well. Please, take this as a token of my appreciation, our appreciation, really. It's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Basically attempting to finish is what we're doing right now.
Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important.
Quentin is such a liar. How do you know what the business is like? He's never been up there.
Our suit disappeared, apparently. Oh, we might as well put the Silver Shroud outfit on.
Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is she doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ao has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more vicious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I have no idea what that is.
I'll admit I'm relieved. It's intended to be something of a classified project, which I'm sure means everyone already knows about it. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
In this world, I'm sure compromise is necessary.
Quite right. For far too long, we've been dependent on others. On our surroundings, that time is over. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was originally built for the Commonwealth Institute of Technology before the war, but was only for testing. Over the years, we've advanced the technology, made a great many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir?
Yes, Dr. Ao. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I am not overly fond of putting my own mother in harm's way, she has proven more than capable of handling herself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please, as I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What? Can't
Please,
be serious.
everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
There must be something we can do to help you.
The only thing that matters now is continuing the Institute's work. It will be all right. I assure you, we can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my mother as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really? Seems a poor choice.
How can you
possibly justify this? She isn't one of us. She isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my mother has already proven herself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
Unit B5 is undergoing the reclamation process as we speak. Before long, we'll be back in field.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Mother. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can. That's why I made the decision. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about you. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead for all of us, but for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
So you're Phil's mother, but he's older than you. It's weird.
I wish Quincy would stop telling us stupid stories.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over the details. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I've got it in my hands. I'm going with you.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure I could handle this by myself.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's old. Look, I'll take care of it. You just make sure I come back in one piece.
No way. You're not going. You'd be a liability.
Well, that's about the most insulting thing I've heard in a while. Okay, you're on your own then. Good luck. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and they'll get you over to mass fusion in a flash. Pun sort of intended.
Purposely did not want her going for said reason. It'd be wiser to keep her here.
Real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
At least she can oversee the problems. Besides, she ain't no warrior. Especially if the Brotherhood's involved in that one. She'd get herself blown up. Guaranteed. She'd be the one to walk one of those canyon mines and get her head blown off. At the same time. Not a problem there. We are now not a part of the Brotherhood of Steel any longer. We still have the armor though, which is the important thing. Armor is what was important. That's it. No, we have a set of it. There's nothing they can really do against us. And there's nothing they can really do for us either. I mean, sure, there's obviously a war, you know, between all the fractions involved, but still.
I don't see the beryllium agitator anywhere. They must have moved it.
Calm down, Noel. You knew that this was coming. I don't understand why you're acting this way.
Don't tell me to calm down, Carl. When we started designing the beryllium agitator, you said it would be for the benefit of mankind. Instead, I find out that you have been planning on turning it over to the military all along. You've lied to me.
Key card. That'll come in handy.
Don't give me that high and mighty attitude. Have you picked up a newspaper lately? There's a war going on out there, Doctor. And if our side's going to win, it needs all the help it can get.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Since when did science start taking sides? What did they promise you, Carl? Money? Political favors? A goddamn medal?
That's enough. Like it or not, when the testing cycle is completed, I'm crating up the agitator and sending it off to Washington. Now, you have two choices. Either you can get back to work, or you can get the hell out of my building.
Well, let them come. Got that one without really trying too hard. Did I get both of them on that shot? Damn. Nope. Not where I think it was going. I will be right back. Sorry about that, I'm currently in the process of heating up something for food. Just be another minute or two. Won't be too much longer. I'm back. I'm just eating a few bites first. And we can continue in just a few. Alright. Huh. Well, see, I guess I did go the right way. I didn't even think I did. I could just jump.
Shoot to kill!
Nice. Now cycling airlock. Please wait. Initiating decontamination sequence. Decontamination complete. You may proceed.
We are receiving maximum reds. Our objectives up top side.
Security alert in the reactor chamber. Emergency lock initiated.
Yeah, that was close. Okay. Now we are getting the heck out of here. I'm gonna go reheat my couple of other slices of food up real quick. I'm in for another half a minute. What to do? Okay. Sounds like a lot of people are having some troubles in here. Can we just, like, warp out of here? No, not currently. So we have to restore the power in either the... or we could possibly use this door to leave. Yeah. Okay. We just walk out here and then we go and teleport back. Should be that simple. Should be. We'll see what happens. There we go. Still hungry after these slices? It's KFC time. And I made it back.
Nice work bringing that road sync back.
When are you going to tell me about this?
I hope you and Father try to make it the time last.
It's my responsibility to make sure this place runs smoothly.
Dr. Fillmore?
Well, I see you managed on your own. I won't lie. I was a little nervous you wouldn't pull it off. Seems I needn't have worried. I'll make sure the agitator gets where it needs to go. I understand Father is anxious to get you involved in something else. You'd better not keep him waiting.
If you encounter a hazardous chemical spill, please alert the facilities division immediately.
Synth unit. You were maintenance student. Anything you'd like to report?
Nothing to report, sir. I carried out my duties, as usual.
Dr. Ayo saw you accessing a terminal. You know you are not permitted to access terminals in that section. It is not trivial, understand?
Yes. I mean, no, it's not. But I was only...
What is it? Were you or weren't you accessing a terminal?
Sounds like those raiders are being hit.
Any additional pain? Not that I've noticed. I feel quite well. Okay. How's your heart? No more of that.
You're sticking to the regimen?
Yes, Doctor. I'm taking all my little pills.
Okay.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, thank you, Doctor. I think that will be all for now. I understand mass fusion is a success, despite interference from the Brotherhood of Steel.
We handled them just fine.
That's what Dr. Fillmore reported. I'm quite pleased at the results. It would have been a terrible setback to lose that technology to those savages. The Brotherhood's intervention must be placed in a larger context, however, given their penchant for hoarding technology. Future conflict with them is guaranteed. We are, after all, keepers of the most advanced technology in the Commonwealth, even beyond. It also cannot go unnoticed that there were concerns within the Institute about your allegiances. I, of course, never doubted your commitment to our cause. But by directly confronting the Brotherhood, I think you've put some others at ease. I'm proud of you, regardless. The Brotherhood is an issue for the future. We must focus on the present. And look at me, rambling on like the old man I am. I'm wasting time. You're needed elsewhere at once.
Do you need more parts for the reactor? I could have gotten them while I was out.
No, this is a different matter. Hopefully one that does not put anyone at risk. This situation, I'm afraid, is something of your creation, however unintentional.
What do you mean by that? What's happened?
Well, while you were assisting Dr. Phil, a second team was sent out to invite someone from the Commonwealth to join the Institute. Apparently, there was some miscommunication, and this individual called for help, which arrived in the form of your Minutemen. My understanding is that no shock signal fired. I would like it to stay that way. I need you to go there and speak to your Minutemen gathered outside. Insist that they stand down at once. Dr. Thompson is on site, and he will be your primary contact. I know you can resolve this situation, but it is of paramount importance that this special individual be brought to the Institute immediately.
Why all this effort? What's so special about this person?
Mr. Wallace? Despite a lack of formal training, our surveillance has shown he has incredible intellect. With his help, we may be able to drastically speed up work on the reactor.
I have to admit, the third-generation sensor is...
What's going on here?
You're an unexpected surprise. We could use the backup. These Institute bastards aren't getting away. He'll have to go through us to get out of there. We don't know quite what we're up against, but it's good you're here to help. How did you hear about this?
I'm not sure you know what's going on here. This situation is complicated.
Oh, I know exactly what's going on. These assholes think they can kidnap whoever they want, whenever they want. Well, not today. Not while we're here. So, how do you want to play this? We thought about trying to lure them out here, since it'd be easier to kill them. But then we realized we probably ought to storm the place, to make sure they can't disappear on us. That makes sense, right? So, you want to lead the charge?
What do you know about the person who lives here?
Not too much. Wallace is his name. Kind of an egghead type, but real squirrely. Keeps to himself. We've checked in on him every now and then, but he didn't seem to want the company. So, we moving in or what?
Have your men hold their ground. I'll go in and assess the situation.
I don't think that's a good idea. Sir, we have to act now, or else we risk not only letting them get away, but taking one of ours with them. I wouldn't wish that fate on anyone. Are you gonna lead us in there, or what?
This whole thing is just a misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding? Can't wait to hear this. Explain to me how this is a misunderstanding.
You sure you're willing to risk being wrong about this?
Look, I just want people to be safe, you know? I don't want anyone else dying or getting kidnapped or whatever. We won't start shooting or nothing. But you better get in there and make sure you're right.
Trying to avoid being, you know, the larger effort.
Oh, thank God you're here. I was starting to worry we might not make it out of this mess.
How exactly did this happen?
I'm not suited for field work. I've said that over and over, and they sent me anyway. There was no indication that Wallace had been in contact with anyone or was aware that we might be watching him. If I'd known, I don't know. Maybe I'd have tried to handle things differently. I know he's potentially important to Phase 3 and all, but I'm not sure it's worth putting ourselves in harm's way.
This does seem like lots of effort for just one man.
Look, if things were different, we might not be here. Not now, at least. But with the situation in the Commonwealth being what it is, I know they've been keeping an eye on him for years. Not sure how they originally found him, but probably don't want to know. But once they realized how smart he was and what an asset he could be for Phase 3, they watched pretty closely. I think they even fed him scientific material from time to time to see how good he was, testing him, to see if he was Institute material. Let's just get Wallace and get out of here.
We've already drawn enough attention. Time's wasting, so let's pick up the pace.
I'd love to. There's just, well, there's a slight problem with that. He doesn't want to go with us. I was thinking, maybe you could try and talk to him.
No problem. I'm sure I can get him to see reason.
I hope so. We really need him.
Mr. Wallace, I'm here to talk to you.
You're another one of them, aren't you? Are you a robot?
Don't be ridiculous. Of course I'm not a robot.
That's exactly what a robot would say. I've heard all the stories. I know exactly what happens to people when the Institute shows up. Well, it's not happening to me.
Hey, just calm down, okay? I just want to talk to you.
Fine. What do you want from me?
Mr. Wallace, would you be willing to help the Institute?
Help? The Institute? But aren't they... I'm the bad guys?
The Institute has an engineering problem that your scientific expertise could help solve. In exchange for helping us out, you'd be granted access to the most advanced research facility imaginable. Whatever research you wanted to perform, anything, it's possible there. I promise. You'd be safe and secure in a way that's completely impossible anywhere else.
Think about your future, Wallace. This is a way to secure it.
I suppose that's one way to look at it. Okay, fine. I'll go.
I'm looking forward to working for you, future director. Thanks. Thanks for the assist.
Hey, I'm here to help. You're welcome.
I really mean it. I owe you one. I'll see you back in the Institute.
Yes? Yeah? Huh?
Hello, ma'am.
Excuse me.
Hey, Jen.
There. And that's that problem, well, eradicated.
From what I hear, that broke sync of Natalia.
I will be right back. That definitely hits the
Real
spot.
menace.
And we are
When it's
back.
where it belongs.
Good to see you.
There you are. I cannot express how pleased I am. Our new guest is familiarizing himself with his surroundings. Yet he's already pointed out several inefficiencies in our methods. With his help, Phase 3 will be ready in no time. And it's all thanks to you.
I'm proud to help the Institute. Here's hoping it all pays off.
At this point, there is no doubt. It will succeed, and very shortly. There is one more part for you to play, and I think you might enjoy it. It is time to announce our presence to the Commonwealth, to request that they do not interfere with our plans. You should be the one to do it.
What kind of announcement are we talking about?
A broadcast. An announcement to the Commonwealth that the Institute is not to be trifled with. As the incoming director, that responsibility naturally falls to you. We've prepared some remarks for you to record. Once you're finished, we'll broadcast them to the entire Commonwealth. Use the microphone here and follow the script. It's quite simple. I'm sure you'll do fine, Mother.
For years now, you have suspected that the Institute still exists, that we are among you. It's true. But it's not the whole truth. We are here, and we are... the future. Our superior technology represents the future of the Commonwealth. Today, we activate our nuclear reactor, ensuring that we will persevere long after the world above ground ceases to exist, ensuring that mankind has a future. We have no desire to interfere in the unimportant details of your personal freedoms. We simply insist that you do not interfere with Institute operations. To do so would result in tragedy for all involved. Rest easy. Know that the future is looking bright, and that mankind will thrive under our guidance.
Well, that was interesting. Perhaps not what we originally intended, but it will certainly get your point across. Now it's time to make sure that everyone hears it. How would you feel about making a little trip to Diamond City?
I'll go if it's necessary.
It absolutely is. The radio station in Diamond City is listened to by many in the Commonwealth. If we'd like the people to hear what we have to say, it's the best way to reach them. Before we preempt their broadcast, we need to ensure it reaches the maximum range possible. Ensure that the necessary parts are on site. You'll just need to install them to boost the broadcasting power. Report back when you're done. We should be ready by then.
decided to wear such funny clothes?
Looking for the radio station. I can't remember where it is or what it looks like right yet.
I'm not supposed to talk to people I don't know.
Where? Science Center. There it is.
Hi. There.
Hi.
This radio station, well, you'll notice there aren't any other ones. So,
Okay, let's try this. Maybe this goes here.
don't break my stuff if you, if you don't mind.
In you go.
Hey, I mean, hi. Again, hi. Hi.
There it goes.
Hi.
I don't, okay. I usually don't. This is what.
We'll do that later.
This ridiculous plot by Higgs and Logan is just a stunt to get attention.
For goodness sake, be reasonable. I know you can hear me.
What's going on?
What's the use? Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken have decided to protest your appointment as father's successor. They've taken control of the bioscience security systems and cut off our food supply.
Have they made any demands?
Not yet, but I expect they'll demand that you renounce all ties to the Institute.
It's one thing to protest, but this is going way too far.
Look, I can see that you're angry, but please, talk to them before resorting to more violent measures. I can unlock the maintenance tunnel that leads to the bioscience observation room. From there, you should be able to communicate with Higgs and Logan. If you can't reason with them, you can use this holotape to access the command functions on the observation room terminal. That should give you some options. Just please, try to talk to them first. Use violence only as a last resort.
No way to pick this.
Here we are. Just give me a moment. There, it's unlocked.
Hostile sensor read engaging hostile life. And be victim of violence.
guards, hmm?
Excuse me, Doctor.
If you've come to change our minds, then you're wasting your time.
Can we talk about this?
Father chose not to talk to the Directorate before anointing you his successor. So how about I follow his fine example?
I'm not a patient person, Dr. Higgs.
Unlike you, Dr. Loken and I are very patient. We have more than enough food to stay locked in here, as long as is necessary. You and the others will go hungry long before we do.
Last chance, Doctor. You sure you won't change your mind?
This is much bigger than just you. The answer is no. Father's heir apparent. She made it test your impenetrable defenses. Compose yourself. We've always known risks. We are still in control.
Movement detected. Curious. Please stand still.
Hate to have to do it this way, but I could have been more, you know, frank or whatever you want to call it, or chosen other options, but it's never gonna do any good. They left us no other option.
That was unfortunate. We don't like violence here. And I fear your actions will have consequences.
What was I supposed to do? Let everyone starve?
I don't mean to preach. I simply wish that matters could have been resolved more peacefully. I'll see that the mess in hydroponics is cleaned up. I suppose I should also make the funeral arrangements. Well, there's much to do, so I'll get about it. In the meantime, I'm sure everyone will be relieved that this is over.
They left us no alternative. Not everyone has to like it.
To think I'd be above ground, suffering.
The needs of the many over the needs of the few. In this instance.
Enjoy your trip to the big city. It's done then? The transmitter has been modified.
Everything is in place. It's ready to go when we are.
Good. Once the reactor is online, we'll cut into their broadcast. I'll let you do the honors. After all those years of hard work, here we are. We've arrived. Look what you've made possible.
I did good work, didn't I?
Yes. Yes, you did. There's more work to be done before the Institute's future is guaranteed. The Directorate has convened a meeting about how to proceed. I'm not going to attend. You should be there as Director.
Sure, some less stubborn individuals would probably be wiser.
A lot of us will have a hard time accepting the outside of this place.
Remember, health and happiness go hand in hand.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
All maintenance requests should be directed to the Facilities Division.
Operating at full capacity.
Yeah, I'd be the first to win. I'm looking forward to working with you.
I'm happy to be here, Dr. Fillmore. I hope I do the position justice.
I'm sure you will.
Right now, we're all here because it's finally time to stand up for ourselves.
Let's not be dramatic, Justin.
There's nothing dramatic about it. We're in a position to push back, to assert ourselves here. That's what we've talked about all along. To bring you up to speed, obviously there are groups in the Commonwealth that stand in opposition to the Institute's goals. With the reactor now online, we have the ability to not only expand synth production, but to project power to a much greater degree.
I'm sure the reactor will improve everyone's life. It's a great accomplishment.
Yes, but it's not just that. The Directorate has agreed that steps must be taken to ensure our safety in the long run.
Let's not beat around the bush. The Directorate has agreed that the Brotherhood of Steel needs to be eliminated.
As the incoming director, we felt it important to inform you of the decision and get your thoughts on it. So, where do you stand?
If this has to happen, we keep the violence to a minimum. We're not out to destroy the Commonwealth.
Of course. It was never the intention to cause more harm than is necessary. As director, it's up to you and how we focus our efforts in achieving this goal. We'd like your input on what direction we should take. Do we increase synth production or focus on weapons development?
I've seen enough to know that weapons are the key to winning wars. Let's focus on weapons development.
As you wish. The advanced systems folks will get to work immediately. That's all we have for the moment. I believe Father wished to speak with you once our meeting concluded.
Being the director is a serious commitment. I hope you understand that.
Sure, weapons and, troops win wars, but the biggest issue is the development.
We're making real progress, thanks to you.
Clayton.
I'm glad you're here. I'd like to conduct an experiment, but I need some assistance with it. I believe we can improve the growth rates of our crops by using mutated cells, such as those found in supermutants. To test this theory, I'll need a tissue sample from a particularly strong supermutant. I expect I'll eventually need several such samples, but let's just start with one.
You need a tissue sample from a strong supermutant. Got it.
That's right. Now remember, only a particularly hardy supermutant will fit the bill for this experiment. I don't need it right away, but if you do come across such a specimen, I'd be grateful if you could bring back a sample.
There you are. You've met with the Director. I assume they made their intentions known? It was difficult for them to reach the decision to engage in open hostility. What about you? You agree with their decision?
How long has this been coming? When did they decide on this course of action?
The arrival of the Brotherhood's airship was the final straw, really. There's just too much at stake. You can't afford to lose it all. You know, Mother, it's no secret that you worked with the Railroad in order to first reach the Institute. The depth of your involvement with them has been called into question repeatedly. I'm sure you can guess by whom. The question is, where do you stand with them now? Do you count them amongst your allies?
They mean nothing to me. Never have.
I'll admit, I'm relieved to hear that. Then I certainly hope I can count on you for what needs to be done. Because these fanatics cannot be allowed to continue to exist. They represent a very clear threat to the Institute. Small as they are in number, their twisted ideology ensures that they will never stop trying to strike at us. They must be eradicated. Are you willing to see to it?
You don't have to worry about them any longer. They're as good as dead.
Thank you. Do what needs to be done, but keep yourself safe.
You know what? Being that I'm going to put it as a challenge, the best thing we can do is leave our suit in tatters and basically go one-off with them all.
Excellent.
Did what had to be done, unfortunately. I mean, sure, we could have basically up and destroyed the Institute with the Brotherhood, or probably done whatever story mission it would have taken here, but really, it's all the same, no matter what you do. Basically, nobody trusts you anywhere. And for the very exact same reasons that the Institute had versus, the Institute not having it, and whoever else,
Sounds like those raiders at Little Talia were quite a gunfight.
We've got more energy than we need.
Work is done. I am sorry. I know it was likely difficult for you.
It was tough, yeah.
I assure you that there was no other way. Their fanaticism wouldn't have allowed it. There is obviously one final threat the Institute faces. I believe so. But in this case, what matters most is how we handle it. The Brotherhood of Steel covets technology, and has made it clear that we cannot peacefully coexist. They will eventually come for us, and attempt to take what we've spent so long creating. We need to destroy them before they can destroy us.
I don't know if
It's necessary. That's all that... But the problem with the Brotherhood of Steel goes beyond the edges of the Commonwealth. It's not enough to destroy them here. There are more of them out in the world, Mother. And they too will come for us.
You have something in mind if that happens?
I'd like to prevent it from happening in the first place. We will show them that if they interfere with us, the very technology they value so highly will be turned against them. We will teach them that we can appear at a moment's notice, wherever we please, and they cannot ever stop us. They will know better than to ever interfere with us again.
You seem pretty convinced this will work.
The Institute is nothing if not thorough. Dr. Lee should be expecting you in her lab. She can fill you in on the details. Time is of the essence.
I wouldn't be here if not for your son.
At last, we have power adequate to our needs.
This place really is remarkable.
Dr. Lee.
What can I do for you?
Sean says it's time.
Ah, that. Well, let's get to it. Dr. Orman, over here, please. It's time.
What now? I'm still working over the code that the robotics sent over. The algorithm is a mess. It's not even close to peak efficiency.
It would seem we've run out of time. Let's go. We're going to cover the basics of the operation as it stands now. Dr. Orman has done most of the prep work, so I'll let her explain.
Okay, thanks. Is this really exciting, or is it just me? So, you know that the Brotherhood's main operation is at the airport, right?
I'm aware of that, yes.
Okay, good. If they were a little less intelligent, we wouldn't even be talking about this. We'd have just swarmed them with synths. But they're not idiots. They've managed to generate an EM field that's messing with our ability to relay in.
So we just...
Won't do us any good. There's no direct connection between their robot and the airship. So the immediate area around their encampment is a no-go. They don't, however, have the entire airport covered. We can relay you into a point at the edge of the airport, and then you can get in and take down the generators.
We'll have the element of surprise, if nothing else.
Exactly. You'll have surprise on your side. Should give you some time before they can organize a real defense. For every generator you take down, it means we can start relaying in synths, giving you even more of an advantage. And, oh! I almost forgot. Take these.
And these would be...
Oh, you'll like this. This thing, and I haven't come up with a good name for it yet, it basically deploys a beacon marker. Wherever they land, we can lock onto them and relay synths directly to that position. If there's a hotspot, you can drop synths right on it. We've only got a few of these, so put them to good use. Don't go tossing them into the bay.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm impressed.
I know, right? I mean... Thanks. I thought it was neat. But still, it's just to help. Your real job will be to reach Liberty Prime. You know the deal with that, right?
Not a clue.
Okay. I'll let Dr. Lee fill you in.
Yes, well, the Brotherhood discovered him. An old pre-war military project that never saw the light of day due to power problems that couldn't be solved. With my assistance, they were able to get his reactor running and use him against their enemies.
What did you do?
I designed and oversaw the building of the reactor that ultimately solved the power problems. The point here is that in designing the power system for the robot, I had full knowledge of every onboard system. I know exactly what it is capable of and precisely how to exploit those capabilities.
We've taken everything we know, made a few modifications based on what we think they've done with it in the past 10 years. And, this part was my idea, uploaded the whole thing into a modified synth, capable of delivering the virus directly into Liberty Prime. The little guy is going to be exposed and vulnerable, so you'll have to keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't get shot, you know?
What exactly is this virus going to do for us?
Well, if nothing else, it'll take over the weapon systems and establish their airship as a primary target. You can figure out what happens next. So your end goal is ultimately pretty simple. Get to the robot, then hold the position while the synth does his thing. Oh, and don't worry. We'll pull you out of there before everything explodes.
If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Otherwise, they'll be waiting for you in the relay room.
What happens to Liberty Prime after this?
They'll be destroyed along with the rest of the Brotherhood.
What have I got for backup?
Once the generators are down, we'll be able to throw everything we've got at them. And I do mean everything.
Have we got a plan B?
We don't need a plan B. This will work. Anything else?
No questions. Let's do this.
Very well. Good luck to you.
I can tell she's excited about having a reactor.
Yes, this is the end of the Brotherhood of Steel, well, I kind of guess you figured that out already, though. We don't really have another alternative either. So I'm sure you've noticed it's basically one-stop shop. Wait, where did we... Told us to go up the stairs. We need some more supplies, at least something weapon-like that might help, or to be able to fix our gear.
I'm not gonna miss everyone complaining about insufficient power.
We got more than enough power thanks to the new reactor.
Greetings. As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
Let's see what you have.
You have nothing available to me that I can use. And this is practically the end of it right here. As we are basically heading into the end. Everything after that's just a bonus kind of deal. Once the Brotherhood comes to an end, I'm pretty sure we have to only return to the Institute and and you'll see what happens after that. So what we want to do right now is make sure that we have basically any kind of grenade readily available to us, and we want to make sure if we do, we want these at the ready. No rounds. Okay. Yeah, this is basically all I expected it to be. So, right now I'm basically using whatever I've got to throw back at them. Basically need a fallback strat. Because right now our entire outfit just basically got wasted from just half of those shots. And that's saying something, even though our best armor couldn't really hold them off for too very long. Yeah, as you can see, our armor was basically shredded by their minigun users. Turret ain't nothing, that's what the problem is. Oh, you managed to survive that. Have another one. And that, of course, obviously missed. I think that one hit it. To right there. Come on. How did that miss? That's more like it. Well? Dead.
Possibly.
There you go, special head drop for you. Don't expect any additionals. We've cleared Liberty Prime's area, but we'll probably have to do that again.
Proceeding to target.
No, he deserves something special. Will you get back in that suit, you idiot? I didn't tell you to hop out of there.
Communist subversion likely.
Location.
It's a very disturbing situation. Just looking at that cutscene right there. And that is Elder Maxon's forces. Destroyed by the Institute. Well, technically by their own creation, but same difference.
Unit X688 speaks highly of your combat skill.
And so it goes, and so it goes.
From what I hear, that rogue synth that they retired is a real menace.
Hello, Sean.
Ah. There you are. I've already heard the news. But of course you wouldn't be here if it weren't a success. I'm glad it worked, but I'm glad you're safe.
Are you comfortable?
It's good of you to ask. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Just take care of the Institute. Take care of its people. They're good people. You know that. Allie has always been loyal to the Institute. And to me. You can rely on her for help. Once I'm gone, it's all up to you.
I'll do my...
I know you will. Don't worry about me. You need to look ahead. Focus on the future. Our time together has been strange, hasn't it? I spent years wondering what you were like. Thinking about all we missed out on. I want you to know that I'm grateful for the time we've had.
I'm glad I found you.
As am I. Thank you. Mother, you've helped a boy achieve his dreams. I think I'd like to sleep now.
I've lost Sean. All over again. I close my eyes. I see my life before all of this. Before the bombs.
This is the ending, right
Everything
here.
can change in an instant, and the future you plan for yourself shifts, whether or not you're ready. At some point, it happens to all of us. This was not the world I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in. The Commonwealth. My home. Ripped apart and put back together. I thought I hoped I could find my family. Cheat time, make us whole again, the way we were. But now I know. I know I can't go back. I know the world has changed. The road ahead will be hard. This time I'm ready. Because I know war. War never changes.
And no truer statement has been said. And it never ends. Yeah, we could shut all the synths down.
Huh?
I wish Quincy would stop telling us stupid stories.
Well, we shouldn't really go out there with the soup we have. It's pieces, but... It won't take us that long. Well, that was the absolute end of the game.
Well, I'm glad to see the relay didn't completely vaporize you.
The interceptor worked. It was rough, but it worked.
Amazing. And what about the serum? Did you find the serum?
I've got it right here.
That's it. That's really it. All right. Let's see. Retrovirus is matured nicely. Density gradient is high.
Nice.
Recombinant counter-intron sequences look stable. Transcriptive exon strands are formed. Yes. It seems to have matured nicely.
That's good.
It is. But there's only one way to know if it works. Right. Here we go. Now, we wait.
How long will it take?
I don't know. Nothing like this has ever been tried before. I'm going to rest for a while. I'm back in a few days. Maybe a week, and... well, I guess we'll see. In any event, you kept your end of our bargain. Thank you.
Now we head back to Diamond City, finish the story with Piper, and that's basically where I will call it time once that is officially said and done. Excuse me a minute while I take a step or two away from the TV in order to turn on my AC because it is freaking hotter than heck in here, even with a fan or two running. I started to sweat like 2 tons, and I have no idea why.
The Institute's won. Rumor going around is that it's all thanks to you. This project needed your support.
Why are you mad?
You know what this means. It means people getting snatched and left, neighbors turning on each other. And no one will stop. Do you really think that's what the Commonwealth needs?
I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Well, you expected right. Because this new world you've created, I'm not sure what kind of chance it's got.
Hey, Piper.
Head my way?
Sure, let's go.
Will do.
Traveling with Piper is not for the faint of heart.
Nick, you always know just a...
Poor porkers.
Hey, you still holding up, boo?
Why are you calling me that?
Because you're a vault dweller? I know you don't want to be jumpsuit right now. Pip boy and a fish out of water look. Thank you for this. So here's the deal. I want an interview. Your life story in print. This time down the city because I'm respected in the Commonwealth. Besides, I'm already following you around. Might as well get some vault dweller.
All right, Piper. I'm in.
Good. Let's get down to business. So, I know you're from a vault. How would you describe the time in this?
My family and I were frozen. I didn't spend much time in the vault.
Wait, what? They boxed you up in a fridge? The whole time? Are you saying you were alive before the war?
Yes. I'm over 200 years old.
Oh my god. The woman of time. So, you've seen the Commonwealth, Diamond City. How does it compare to your old life?
You're all living in rusty shacks, killing each other, and...
Okay. That's gonna be a fun little quote. For the last part of our interview, I'd like to do something different. I want you to make a statement to Diamond City directly. The threat of kidnapping is all but ignored in the press. Everyone wants to pretend it just doesn't happen. What would you say to someone out there who's lost a loved one but might be too scared or too numb to the world to look for them?
You can only take it one day at a time. Just keep going. That's all anyone can do.
We're all just doing what we have to, huh? I think my readers can relate to that. That's everything. It's gonna take some time to put this all together, but I think your story is about Diamond City and to anyway, we should probably get going. Thanks again.
Hey. Piper.
Capturing thoughts?
It's time we part ways.
Sure thing. I'll head home.
There. Now that that's done.
I couldn't say outside smell.
And that's about gonna do it for this run. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Fallout 4 modded runs. It was basically a all-out free-for-all with the Brotherhood last time. And yeah, everything else from this point forward when Fallout 4 is just going to be either cleanup detail on the extra missions or, you know, some extra stuff. But yeah, the next up is going to be finishing Assassin's Creed Origins, and then I will have to do a few weeks to try and get around another small set list of video games to do. I was intending on going back to Red Dead Redemption 2 to try and finish the story mode, or perhaps just randomly free-for-alling it somewhere. I don't know. See what comes up. But other than that, we've still got a few Call of Duty missions we could probably throw in there once in a while. But like I said, we'll just see what happens. But again, thank you all for watching. I was planning on another video this weekend, but I really don't have anything left to really play at this point. I expected this to take just a hair longer than it did. And honestly, when we got into the Institute itself, I was basically like, well, shit. I did not expect to be here that soon, but it is what it is. pardon my language. But I thank you all again for watching, and I hope you tune in again sometime in the next video.